Very good morning to all. Today is our chapter 24, our class number 24. So today we're going to start a new chapter, that is transient heat conduction. So far we have talked about steady state heat conduction. So from today onwards we'll talk about unsteady state heat conduction, or which is known as transient heat conduction. And we are going to derive mainly different equation related to lumped parameter analysis and time constants. So let us look into this first. So, so far we have talked about the various parameters like thermal conductivity, thermal resistance, heat conductance, all these things which are happening over a series or in parallel for cylinders, spheres, or plane walls, right? So what happens in reality actually, that every solids we deal with has a finite thermal conductivity, right? And there is always an exists a temperature gradient. So there are two parameters which actually control the thermal gradient or heat transfer across the body, which is known as, one is known as internal resistance given by L by Ka, as you can see. Another is known as convective resistance given by 1 over Ha. So if a subject or if a solid's thermal conductivity is very high and it has a very large surface area, so like flat plate, disc, aeroplane wings, okay, which are having very high surface area relative to their volume, what happens then for those type of object or those type of solids, the temperature gradient actually very fast, okay, for metallic wire, right? So because this has a large thermal conductivity and large surface area relative to their volumes, so what happens that their internal resistance, that is L by K, is very small compared to the convective resistance. Typical example has been given, thermocouple wire, okay, or heat treatment of metal. So by the process by which this internal resistance is assumed negligible in comparison to the surface resistance is called Newtonian heating and cooling. So this is a new terminology you are hearing. Any body or any solids whose internal resistance is to the convective resistance. So the temperature, what does that mean? That actually the change in temperature is very quick. It's quickly there is a change in temperature. Like you put a body in a water, like you doing some sort of solidification, or a thermocouple, right? It has to like record the temperature very quickly. So this type of body where actually surface area high and their convective resistance is high, they are actually fluctuating. Temperature fluctuation can be recorded very quickly. It is known as Newtonian heating or cooling. The temperature in this process is remain to be uniform at a given time, and such an analysis we are going to do now is called lumped parameter analysis, because the solid whose energy at any time is a function of its temperature and total heat capacity is treated as a lump. So that is why it is called lumped parametric analysis. So let us consider this. Let us consider a body which is having a negligible internal thermal resistance, whose initial temperature is at Ti throughout, is placed suddenly at an ambient air or any liquid which has a constant temperature of Ta. So the body has an initial temperature Ti, then it is placed in a liquid or in a air whose constant temperature is ambient air and temperature is given by Ta, as shown in figure 4.1a. The transient response of the body can be determined by relating its rate of change of internal energy with convective exchange at the surface. Okay, so there are two things going to happen. The internal energy, the internal energy is going to decrease and the convective resistance is going to increase, right? So that we are going to equalize both the term. We are going to equalize and then derive the expressions. The rate of change, actually you can see that Q convective is going to increase and rate of change is given by E internal. Okay, actually the equation is HA T minus TA is equal to minus rho Vc dt by d tau, where tau is actually at time. As you can see, tau is 0, as in time is 0, T is Ti. The initial temperature, the boundary conditions are, you can see, tau 0 mean initial time is 0, T is equal to Ti. When tau is greater than 0, the time is greater than 0, T is a function of tau. So that means temperature is a function of time. That is the boundary conditions. So let us see what happens. So this is the expression. The internal energy change is given by minus rho Vc dt by d tau, and the convective exchange of heat is given by HAS T minus TA. For the term tau, rho is the density of the solid, V is the volume of the solid, that is Rho into V is the mass, and then C is this specific heat. So MCP, that is the internal energy change, right, over the temperature dt by d tau. That is the temperature gradient. Dt by d tau. Dt is time, small t is time, and tau is small t is temperature, tau is time. So dt by d tau is actually temperature gradient. Hs into T minus Ta, you all know H is the convective heat transfer coefficient, A is the surface area of the solid for the body, and T minus Ta is the temperature difference, Ta is the ambient air. So this term, these two terms actually you can integrate over proper boundary condition, that is 0 to 2 and 0 to T, 0 to T and 0 to tau. You rearrange the term and then integrate, it becomes ln T minus Ta is equal to minus Hs rho Vc tau plus C1. C1 is the integration constant. Now, if you have to put the proper boundary condition, I have already mentioned in the previous slides. So at tau 0, T equal to Ti, that is the initial surface temperature. So if you plug that value, C1 become ln Ti minus Ta. So actually this equation will become ln T minus Ta is equal to minus Hs rho Vc tau plus ln Ti minus Ta. So you can take this term in the left hand side, then it's become T minus Ta, Ti minus Ta is equal to exponential minus Hs rho Vc by tau. This is a very useful expression. We are going to see this expression are going to be useful while solving the various numerical. Now this is also can given by theta minus theta I, that I will come later. Okay, theta minus theta I will come later. Now what you can see that Newtonian heating and cooling actually is an exponential heating, because it's the formula, as you can see, is actually exponential term. So it happens very quickly, right? Cooling and heating happens very quickly. As you can see, it's exponential time. Now the quantity rho VCHS from this rho VCHS, that is the inverse of this, right? Rho VCHS is the inverse of this. Is a dimensionless dimension of time, and it's called thermal time constant. So this terminology, the inverse of this term within the parenthesis, rho Vc minus divided by Hs is called thermal time constant, and denoted by Th. Okay, thermal time constant denoted by tau H. The value is indicative of the rate of response of a system as a sudden change in environment temperature. And this thermal time constant, that is tau H, tau Th, that is this term, can be rearranged and be written like 1 over Hs times rho Vc. 1 over Hs is known as resistance to convective heat transfer, and rho Vc is known as lump thermal capacitance. Okay, so this is actually known as resistance to convection, and this is known as lump thermal capacitance. Figure 4.3 shows the increase in RTH or RTH or RCH. This is actually increasing. Will cause a solid to respond more slowly to degree of its thermal environment, because the change is very small, right? You can see tau 1, tau 2, and this is different time, right? And you increase the time required to attain the thermal equilibrium. Okay, so let's move to the next slides. Now, the term that within the exponential term, the power on the exponential, that is Hs rho Vc tau. This term, okay, Hs rho Vc tau within this exponential term can be arranged in a dimensionless form as follows. We can write Hs rho Vc tau and then rearrange Ha V. We multiply by V on the numerator divided by Kas, then denominator multiplied by K, and then again here we have denominated here actually multiplied by K as well as As. Denominator is multiplied by thermal conductivity and surface area. Then we have to take thermal conductivity and surface area here, and then rho, you have taken one volume here, rho V square theta. The reason is that this HVKA is actually known as HLC by K, where V by AS is actually called LC or characteristic length, that I'll come later. V by AS is known characteristic length, and then it will become alpha tau LC square, because alpha is actually here has been written thermal diffusivity, that is K by rho C, rho Cp. You can see here K by rho Cp is there, so that's why it's become alpha rho tau, and V by AS, as I mentioned, LC, that will become LC square. This will come later, HLC by K and alpha tau LC square, why it is important. The thing is that here alpha is actually thermal conductivity, thermal diffusivity, which is given by K by rho Cp, or specific heat. Now LC is actually called characteristic length, which is I just mentioned, volume of the solid divided by the surface area of the solid. The value of the characteristic length for simple geometrical shapes can be given below. For a flat plate, LC will be V by S, that is volume by surface area, LB by LBH divided by 2BH. L, B, and H are actually thickness, width, and height. So it is actually L by 2, that is thickness by 2, right? That is semi-thickness. For cylinder, volume is pi r square L, surface area 2 pi r L, that is r by 2, that is radius, half of the radius of the cylinder, characteristic length. For a sphere, it is 4 by 3 pi r cube divided by 4 pi r square, that is r by 3, that is 1/3 of the radius. For a cube, L cube by 6 L square, that is L by 6, that is 1/6 of the side of a cube. So this is actually, you can see LC actually varies for different geometry, but this is a very useful term. We'll see when you do some numerical for different geometry how LC is useful, right? Now, most important part, since we say that this is a dimensionless number and we rearrange this term, now HLC by K is called Biot number, okay? HLC by K actually is a Biot number and it is given by BI, that is HLC by K. It is nothing but LC by K 1 over HI. You can write LC by K divided by 1 over HI. So that is actually internal resistance. LC by K is the internal resistance divided by surface resistance, that is 1 over HI. Okay, when the value of BI is small, it indicates the system has a very small resistance. That is relatively small temperature gradient or the existence of practically uniform temperature within the system. The convective resistance then predominates. Okay, if BI is less than 1, the lumped heat capacity position, and it can be generally for less than 0.1, we can use this expression. Okay. Now another terminology, that is alpha tau LB LC square. This term is called Fourier number given by FO. Alpha tau by LC square, which actually mention degree of penetration of heating or cooling, like how much depth the system is going to penetrate for during the heating or cooling. So these two terms actually, you can see one is Biot number, another is Fourier number. So we can rewrite this expression. We have written here this term. We can rewrite this expression equal to T minus TA, Ti minus TA exponential minus Bi FO. The graphical representation for figure 4, equation 4.5. This is equation 4.5. For difference geometry or solids given in figure 4.4, you can see for infinite plate T minus Ti, Ti minus TA equal for Biot number, Fourier number. This is a function of Biot number, Fourier number. Multiplication of Biot number, Fourier number, and this is the geometry. So this is a very useful thing. We'll see how it is useful later. Let us solve a couple of numerical, and then it will come easy. I mean, you will be able to understand this in a better way. Let's see first a 50 centimeter by 50 centimeter copper slab, 612.25 millimeter thick, has a uniform temperature of 300 C. So you say initial temperature is 300 C, Ti. Temperature is suddenly lowered to 36 C. Calculate the time required for the place to reach the temperature of 108 C. Wow, very good. Take tau rho 9000 kg per meter cube. Specific heat given 0.38 kilojoule per kg degree C. Thermal conductivity 370 watt per meter C, and thermal convective heat transfer coefficient 90 watt per meter square C. So first you determine surface area of the slab 2 into given 50 centimeter, 50 centimeter, it will be converted in meter, so that is becoming 0.5 meter square, two sides. Volume is just multiply L, B, and H, that is 0.015625 meter cube. So characteristic length V by S 0.003125 meter. Biot number you calculate HLC by K, this much. Since Biot number is less than 0.1, so we have to use this expression. Since lumped capacitance methods, Newtonian heating or cooling may be applied. So you have to check it whether Biot number is less than 0.1 or not. If it is Biot number less than 0.1, then only we can use the lumped capacitance method that we have derived. So you can write this expression T minus TA, Ti minus TA exponential minus Hs rho Vc by tau. Now all the initial temperature was given 300 C, right? So Ti is 300, you can see it is written. Ambient temperature is suddenly lowered to 36 C, the ambient 36 C. And then we calculate the time required for the plate to reach temperature of 108 C. So the T will be 108 C. So this is very useful. You have to very much know what is what, right? So you have to calculate tau. So you put all the value, you know all the value. And then solve for tau, it is coming 154.32 seconds. That's how you solve it. Let us look into another example. An aluminum alloy plate of 400 millimeter into 400 millimeter into 4 millimeter size at 200 C is suddenly quenched into liquid oxygen at minus 183 degrees C. Starting from fundamental or deriving the necessary expression, determine the time required for the plate to reach a temperature of minus 70 C. Assume H 20,000 kilojoule per meter square hour C Cp given 0.8 kilojoule per kgc and density given 3000 kg per meter. First thing first, you calculate surface area of the plate 0.32 meter square, volume of the plate this much, characteristic NC d by S 0.002 meter. For aluminium, a low temperature may be taken as 214. So this is actually not given, or so we have to take that the parameter here, that is K, thermal conductivity value, 770.4 kilojoule per meter. Or so then Biot number you calculate HLC by K. H was given in kilojoules, that's why it has been taken into kilojoule. Okay. So you have determined Biot number 0.0519. So Biot number less than 0.1. So you can proceed this solution. You can write T minus TA, TA minus TA this much. Now initial liquid oxygen minus 183. So ambient temperature will be minus 183. See, and you have to determine time when it reaches minus 70 C, right? So T will be minus 70 C, and initially it was 200 C. So you can see it is minus 70 minus 183, 200 minus 183. This is very useful. Then you can all the expression you write and then solve for tau 1.054 seconds. See how quick the aluminium actually retain that minus 70 C, right? How quick? 1 second, 1.05 seconds. Last numerical we will solve for now. A solid copper sphere of 10 centimeter diameter, density 8954 kg per meter cube, Cp 383 joule per kg Kelvin, thermal conductivity 386 watt per meter Kelvin. Initially at a temperature Ti 250 C, is suddenly immersed in a well-starred fluid, which is maintained at a of temperature 50 C. The heat transfer coefficient between the sphere and the fluid is given 200 watt per meter square Kelvin. Determine the temperature of the copper block at tau 5 minutes after the immersion. So you have to determine the temperature. So this is little different. The diameter of that copper sphere given 10 centimeter, that is 0.1 meter. Density, Cp, K, all the parameters are given. So characteristic length, volume by surface here. You can write R by 3 also, but again we have R by 3 or D, so that is becoming 0.0167 meter. Check Biot number HLC by K whether it is less than 0.1. It is less than 0.1, that is 8.64 into 10 to the minus 3. Since Biot number less than 0.1, lumped capacitance methods or the Newtonian heating and cooling method may be used for the solution. Temperature distribution given by T minus TA, Ti minus TA, exponential minus HS rho Vc tau. Now we have to determine temperature. Now initial ambient temperature is given 50 C. What will be the temperature? The ambient temperature 50 C. Initial temperature 250 C. So 250 minus 50, T minus 50. Time is given 300 seconds, right? 5 minutes, that is 300 seconds. And then all other parameters known. So you solve for T, that is 120 C. Okay. I hope you understand up to this point. Let's move to the next slide. So actually we initially talked about the theta by theta I. We'll see how it is important. Now time constant that is given by theta 3 by theta I. The measurement of temperature by a thermocouple is an important application of the Laurent parameter analysis. As I mentioned during the start of the class, that thermocouple which are having very high surface area and surface resistance is a predominant over internal resistance. The response of a thermocouple is defined as the time required for the thermocouple to attain the source temperature. Now from the equation 4.4, that is HS rho Vc, the faster the exponential term will approach 0, or the more rapid will be the response of the temperature measuring device. This can be accompanied either by increasing the value of H. So how you can increase the value of H, or by decreasing the wire diameter. So that means volume, right? Density and specific heat. Wire diameter, density and specific heat. Density and specific heat is volume at the denominator, and diameter actually you can V by S, right? You can write that is LC. So actually denominator has to be increasing, right? Denominator you can increase, right? Sorry, denominator can be decreased. You can increase the H, that is the numerator, and the denominator, that is rho Vc or rho LC Cp, can be decreased. Hence, a very thin wire is recommended for use in a thermocouple to ensure a rapid response for temperature fluctuation. Now, rho Vc by Hs, which is a unit of time I mentioned, is called time constant and denoted by symbol tau star. So tau star you can write rho VCHS, which you can write again K by rho alpha H V by S. So theta minus theta I, which I have already seen, T minus TA, Ti minus TA, you can write exponential minus tau by tau star, because the other term, that is this term, we have taken as tau star, the inverse of the term, so it is become tau star. So at tau equal to tau star, that is when temperature become tau star, one time constant, we have theta minus theta I, T minus Ti exponential e to the power minus 1, that is 0.363. So tau star is actually time required for the temperature change to reach 36.8% of its final value. In other words, temperature difference would be reduced by 63.2%. Same thing, right? So the time required by thermocouple to reach its 63.2% of the value of initial temperature difference is called the sensitivity, right? So that is known as the sensitivity of thermocouple. So I think you understand, like let's solve a couple of numerical, and then you'll understand the thermocouple junction is in the form of 8mm diameter sphere. Properties of the given of the thermocouple Cp, density K and H. Junction has initiated at 440 C and is inserted in a stream of hot air at 300 C. Find the time constant of the thermocouple. The thermocouple is taken out from the hot air after 10 seconds and kept in a still air at 30 C. Assuming heat transfer coefficient in air 10 watt per meter square C, find the temperature attained by the junction 20 seconds after removing from hot air. So there are two parts. First, the diameter is given, so radius is 8 by 2 4 millimeter, that is 0.004 meter. Cp, rho, K, all the parameters given. So time constant you have to determine, that is tau star rho VCHS. Now VC is 4 by 3 pi r cube and H is 4 pi r square. You could have easily written r by 3 because it's a thermocouple, so it will be r by 3, cylindrical thermocouple. Then you solve for it and then you get 112 seconds. Right, that is the time constant. Now temperature attained by the junction T, initial temperature 40 C, ambient air given 300 C, tau 20 seconds. So you write that expression T minus TIA, Ti minus TA, exponential minus HS rho VC, tau. You have to determine the temperature, right? Initial temperature given 300 C, 40 C, ambient air given 300 C. Exponential you can write minus tau by tau star. Tau star you have already determined 112 seconds. Tau given 20 seconds. So you put the values and then you solve for it. I think it is 10 seconds. It is given 10 seconds. It is a typo here to 10 seconds. 10 seconds and then you solve for it. Temperature will be 62.2 C, right? Now, temperature variation with respect to time, again you write this expression. Tau star equal to rho RC by 3H, this expression. That is rho RC and 3H, 10 seconds. Because it was given, H was given 10 watt per meter square, so you have to determine tau, that is 448 seconds. So, whatever the temperature, if it is, that will be 60.79. Okay, so if it is, that's the second part. Okay, the second part has two answers. One is 10 seconds, another is if it is taken out and kept in the air for 20 seconds after removing hot air, what the temperature. So 20 seconds के लिए temperature will be this much, right? Okay, I hope you understand. This has two parts. One is for 10 seconds, another for 20 seconds. Last one, a very thin glass wall, 3 mm diameter mercury thermocouple is placed in a stream of air where heat transfer coefficient is 55 watt per meter square C for measuring the unsteady temperature of air. Consider cylindrical thermocouple bulb to consist of mercury only, for which thermal conductivity K given 8.8 watt per meter Kelvin and alpha is given 0.0166 meter square per hour. Calculate the time required for the temperature change to read half of its value. So first thing first, diameter given, so radius will be 1.5 meter, that is 0.0015 meter. H is given 55 watt per meter square C, K is given 8 watt per meter C, and alpha, that is thermal diffusivity, given this much. Thermal time constant is given by K by alpha H by V by S. I have already seen, right, this formula, right? K by alpha H V by S. Time constant, right? K by alpha H V by S actually pi r square by 2 pi r. So you can write K by R to alpha H, and then you put all these things. Now alpha was in hour, so this will be an hour, or you can convert into second, 26 seconds. So it is asked to calculate for temperature change, reach half of its value. So theta by theta will be 1 over That is why theta by theta is important, right? Theta is initial, theta is the final temperature, theta is initial temperature. So it will be half of this value. E minus tau by tau star. Tau star we have already determined 26 seconds. So this will be E by tau star 2. But tau by tau star ln2, that is 0.693. So tau will be tau star into 0.693, that is 26. We have calculated as 0.693, 18 seconds. So that is mean it will take 18 seconds or half of its value. Okay. So these are the numerical. We will take it week after next. Okay, this is due week after next. Please solve it because I'm going to ask again all the students. I'm going to pick some student and get it done in the class. Okay, so there are very straightforward. You can look at my note and then solve it. There are 1, 2, 3, 4 numericals. So everybody solve it. I'm going to pick any 4 student to get it done. Okay, thank you.